general theme. If that's the case, then those would be the two themes that would have priority.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know if that's the case yet. That's just my best guess.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Um,
I need. I need to get some new samples to make that one work because I need like wind blowing through multiple things.
do you want me to start looking for those?
Yeah. If you want,
Okay.
that'd be good.
All right. I'll try and find some stuff. Um,
Thanks.
yeah, no problem. Um, okay. So uh, I know that David and Christian aren't here yet. David's gonna be here really soon. Um, I guess what I'm just trying to do is figure out if we're, for the most part, on track with feeling like we can complete not only the stuff that we're set to work on this week, but also the stuff that's been pre-scheduled for the past due. And it seems like everyone's um, fairly confident. But if you've got after the meeting, if you want to send like a message about things you'd like to restructure in the schedule, please feel free to send that to me, and we can talk over it one on one. I'll adjust the schedule accordingly. What else? I'd like to try. I know we were talking about doing a 24-hour stream this past weekend, but my wireless card went out. Or I guess that was yesterday. Uh, and I know that some people aren't able to make it this Sunday, or it would be difficult for them to make it this Sunday. But I've got. I know I was telling you guys that I had Ludum Dare this weekend, but it's actually the next weekend. So this upcoming weekend would be a really good time to try and do a 12 or 24-hour stream. Um, and I'd like to at least try and get like the week's notice in now. If you guys have any conflicts with that, please post them in the chat now. Okay, is that for both days this weekend, Frank? Okay. All right, I'm fine with hosting still in the way that we've done it before, but if you're talking about just in general, your computer probably wouldn't be able to stream at all, or like even share screens on Skype. Okay, yeah, no problem, Cody. Okay, yeah, I understand, Frank. Sure, do you want to test that now? Okay. Sure. How's the tour been going, Justice?
Oh, it's good. It is done.
Fantastic.
It's good and done. Um, yeah, it was cool. We ended up going further west than we had expected. Got to play in Columbus, Ohio, which is an interesting city. They have checkers out there, but they're called rallies, and
Hmm.
it's pretty wild.
Well, I'm glad that it went well. Hey, David. Um, all right, Frank. We'll talk more about that. David, there, I'll repost the links. Um, there's the schedule that you've seen and you know about. It's here. Um, and then uh, there are the demo encounters, which just finished. If you didn't get a chance to check those before the meeting, they're here. Um, we'll need to talk one on one about the encounters that I worked through, just to make sure that they can fit within the narrative, or if you have any differences in like opinion in terms of enemy design, and we'd like to fit those in. We'll need to do that within the next couple days.
Okay. Yeah, I thought we were gonna talk Thursday about it, but I didn't hear from you on Thursday.
On
So
Thursday,
yeah, because I thought
Thursday.
we said we were gonna have a meeting on last Thursday about encounters.
I'm sorry. Just check through. I had work last Thursday evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry.
yeah,
If I scheduled that and didn't show up, I apologize.
that's all right. There's always more time in the future.
Yeah, at least until October when all of our lives end.
Yeah, and then the universe implodes. But
Right.
until then, there's time.
Okay. Well,
Um,
why don't we? Here, I'll shoot you a message now, and we can talk about it more after the meeting.
okay. Yeah, I also wanted to do the rev share talk at some point too.
Okay, we'll do that too. It's
Okay.
double meeting.
All right.
Uh, all right. So let's see. Where's it going with this? Right. Um, Two things. First, my wireless card crapped out and prevented me from even really talking to you guys about doing a 24-hour stream last weekend. This weekend, I know that you have a conflict, David, or that it's unlikely you'd be able to make it for a lot of the stream.
Yeah, it's pretty unlikely that I'd be able to do it.
Okay.
I probably maybe could do like a few hours on Sunday,
Okay.
but that's about as much as I could offer, I guess.
That's when we're gonna try for it.
Okay.
Sunday, because I made a mistake and Ludum Dare is not this weekend but the next one.
Uh,
Um, so we're running out of runway for 24-hour streams this month.
yeah.
Additionally, I'd like to talk to you guys about a second meeting each week. I think we need one. Um, this meeting generally tends to get a lot of stuff out of the way, but there's no like middle of the week update or easy way to reach everyone until the next Monday. And while I think that this chat can sometimes do that for us, other times things just get buried in it. So I guess there are two different things we could do. We could either use the assignment board for posting with one another and like getting confirmation on things and be really judicious about going to it and making sure to check it and see if anyone's left something for you and if you need to get back to them. Or we can just do another group meeting each week. Thoughts?
Um, I don't know. I don't really have time to commit. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think the problem is probably people don't have time. Like, I wonder if there's a thing in between that we can do. Like, maybe just the middle of the week check in, something like that. Not really like a meeting, but more of like just a expected how are things going kind of thing.
Okay. And that doesn't have to be like a voice chat. That could just be a chat thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine with doing that.
All right.
Where do we want to have that?
I don't know. Skype makes no sense, I guess.
I mean, like, in which chat would we like to have that?
Oh well, I think it makes no sense if a conflict or something does come up, then it shouldn't be on the assignment board. Oh, or midweek chat might make sense. Sure.
Just second scheduled thing might be hard. Okay, well, let's do the midweek chat around the middle of the week, each week, on the midweek chat board. And I'll add John to that. No, John's on it. Alright, we're good.
Yo.
I was gonna add you to the midweek chat, but you're already in it.
And I'm sorry that I've been busy for the last like 4 days and haven't been able to do anything on anything.
It's no problem. We're getting to a point where we're just getting in touch with everyone and making sure that the thing's moving forward. George, holy crap, George. Welcome, George. Sorry, you just joined unexpectedly. Hello.
The wizard has arrived.
Indeed. George, are you able to show the preview of the website that you showed to me and Cody to everyone? Is that possible? Do you have that?
By the way, Frank, I've got to send you some private messages on Skype
Cool.
just about some different things.
Let's do it. Okay. Um, also, George, I don't know if you have this, but, well, you'll be able to access it. Don't even worry about it. Okay, so that's addressed. What was the other thing I wanted to address? Oh, right. I know that we did this a while ago, but I'd like to do it again. I'm going to need phone numbers from everyone. If I don't already have your phone number. We need to make a repository, not just me having phone numbers of everyone, but everyone having phone numbers of everyone. Don't post them in the chat now, because it'll be on Skype. What I would suggest to do is post it... No, George, don't... George! It shows up in the sidebar. He wants the ladies to know. We don't have very many ladies who view our channel. I think InDev Girl is the only one. Go ahead and post it in the midweek chat.
I already know what George's response would be to that. Good enough.
Good enough. Yeah, true. So everyone post your numbers. That way we have numbers if someone's computer goes out, as has recently occurred to 2 of our members, maybe 3. We are able to contact you. If you don't have a phone, I have no answer for that. Find a payphone at the local library and learn its number and be next to it all day, because we'll need to contact you. Okay, so our key priority is going to be over the next few weeks getting Battle to a point where it's testable. And I think everyone knows that. For that reason, the encounters that I listed before in the chat are going to need to be right the first time. So if you have any suggestions, if you've got any criticism that you want to throw in, feel free to post it anywhere. Just throw it to me or in the chat. Like if you want to start a discussion about it, feel free to. Try and think about how many art assets it's going to take, though. So like if the criticism is I'd like to see this person have like a mount or something, then it's unlikely that we'll be able to do it. Okay, well, thanks, Frank. If it's that it's going to radically diverge from the template that we're making and that the animations are going to be way different, then we might not be able to do that either, just keeping time as a factor consideration. The other thing I kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on is a way in which we could end the demo now that would make it so that we could bring E-zones in to show players that we're going to do it that way, or have travel be a thing, node-based travel, but without actually having them node-based travel or having them travel once, so it's not like a huge thing that we have to make. What I was going to recommend is after the whole Valley thing, when the Cavs, rather than spoiling the story, after the whole Valley thing, once node-based travel would become a thing for the actual game, have the Cavalier model move from Valley to the next node out, and then have the demo end there. It would foreshadow that that's a major function of the game, especially if we have multiple nodes coming off of that node. But it would make it so that we don't actually have to create another D zone or do anything else like that. We could even have a little enemy on the town that he's moving to if we wanted to foreshadow that that's the main way that encounters are going to take place.
I think it's a good idea to consider doing.
Alright. Cool. Um, uh, does anyone have anything that, like, ideas that came to them over the last week? Things you want to talk about? Stuff you want to share?
The only thing I have is that shoehing in a point and click puzzle into our current demo build feels kind of unnatural for whatever reason.
Okay.
Can't quite, but I think it's simply just because it presents itself a little bit more formally as an RPG without a lot of the other things, and now there's like kind of a random point and click for it, like it kind of feels random
It's having
in
genre
itself.
confusion.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's worth it.
All right. We don't need to do it then. There's
Okay.
not really any point in having it if it's gonna detract or make it so that we have to learn a whole different portion of design to make the game fit expectations that the players will have.
Yeah.
And I think that the current encounters will make it so that the game is already feels kind of like a puzzle, or should kind of feel that way, rather than just having the shitty encounters that I was thinking about doing before. Random enemies and no real objective. What was I gonna put here in my notepad? I don't know. Hmm. For reference for everyone, this block, this sprint that we're on, is going to end on the 14th, and we'll be officially 1/4 of the way through our total timeline between now and October 12th through 16th, which is when we're going to try and launch. We really want to be finishing up as many of the things that we've already put on the schedule as possible before we move on, if we can. I've already spoken with Cody and Justice about specific things, but for the future, if there's something that we're unable to finish during a certain section, we're either going to need to restructure the schedule, or we're going to need to just abandon that thing or move forward with it in like a placeholder design sort of way, or at least have a discussion about how we want to manage it. And the other thing I want to say about the schedule is that it'll probably change every time that we have a meeting, at least somewhat. There are certain things that aren't really all that concrete right now on the schedule that will need to change to be more concrete. And we'll be addressing those, I suppose, as we go. There is one thing that I wanted to move up, David.
Yeah.
Which is getting that stump speech ready, since I'm going to be doing the game jam thing in Richmond. I'd like to have it, if we could, and it's something.
Okay, so that's a triple meeting, maybe.
Yeah, it's a triple meeting.
All right. That's a long meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stump speech. Oh, share. Okay. Counters. Yeah, sure, no problem, George. Well, he's already gone, so I guess we're just waiting for George to come back at this point so I can show you guys the website, what we've got of it so far. That might even be a, well, no, I'll fill out the website. There's no need for a quadruple meeting. Though if we could stretch it to a quintuple meeting, you know, that might be more interesting.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Do you guys have anything? Oh, there was one thing I wanted to talk about. One more thing. The weapon system that I was talking about before that I never really got into specifics about. We did a stream based on it, but I didn't really talk much about it afterward. Um, for those who aren't in the know about it, we decided to change weapons to make it so that you, Frank, and Cody do not have to create multiple weapons for each class anymore. I know that was one of the reasons that we chose our art style, was so that we could switch out weapons on each animation rig, but now you can design animations, Frank, and you can design weapons, Cody, so that they never change for a class.
So by changing a type or a weapon.
Like the weapon itself, the thing that you give to the Cavalier, like the spear, will never change now. It's just going to be
Okay,
the
so
spear.
so ability icons can have spears in them.
They can. You can now have a spear for the ability icon if you need to use one. Yes.
That will help.
Okay.
That will help.
Fantastic.
How about armor, Kirby?
Armor is probably not going to be in the demo. Maybe even not in the game. I'm thinking about it. It'll depend on what we absolutely need, and it doesn't seem like armor is necessary. I think we could offset anything that we wanted to put into the game as armor onto the weapons themselves for like a tankier class. Now, what this will mean is that characters who are tankier or characters who we're trying to do more divergent things with, we're going to have to spend more time thinking about the weapons themselves. I have an example here. In the old system, if we had a woodsman who used axes and bows, and their abilities afforded for the range of axes and the ranges of bows, if they did both, under the new system, we would have to change it from a design standpoint to be one of three things. Either we'd need to give them an axe bow, or something that had the range of an axe and a bow. We'd need to give them an axe weapon range with bow range abilities, or we'd need to give them a bow range weapon with axe range abilities. Additionally, there might be characters who has like a bow axe, right, Cody? Additionally, there might be characters who, as a part of their design, just innately, might dual wield, in which case they'd have two weapons, or might have the opportunity to switch between multiple weapons and have that be a large part of how they function. But I will always be letting you guys know ahead of time if that's the case. And this should be a lot of fun for you guys now, because we can make weapons as interesting as they need to be. What this does create a need for a melee bow that he throws at enemies. That'd be cool, like a boomerang. It doesn't. You don't even use it as a bow. You just throw it at the enemies, and it kind of looks like one. What we do need now, Cody and Frank, as well, since we're going to be using a different system, you guys have all played Bastion, right? Yes.
Yeah, I played it. It was a couple years ago.
Okay.
I started it once.
You started it. Okay. Well, that's good enough. In Bastion, when you're leveling up your character, there are spirits, and I don't mean like ghosts, but I mean like liquor, alcohol. There are spirits that you can equip to your character, and you can only hold, I think, 2 or 3 at a given time. But the spirits are vessels for incomparable effects. For instance, when your character dies, he returns to life with 1 health or something like that. Or another incomparable effect might have been, when your character dies, enemies around him receive a lot of damage or something like that. Yeah, most of them were lackluster, Frank. I agree. But our job is to create incomparable effects for weapons that make them feel like different weapons in some way, or make you feel like you're being rewarded, and it'll make it so that we can still have shop systems like we were intending to have, and still have loot reward systems, but they'll be, yeah. Uh, David, is there a way that you could mute?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me do it.
Well, yeah, Frank, we certainly could have different types of spears, and I think that maybe what would be nice is if there is like a visual indicator that these different types of incomparable effects that we'll be adding to the spears are showing to the player. Um, and we could even make the spear look really cool depending on which different incomparable effects we're adding. We could go through and take the spear model and say, like, if it has this, it has an adjustment here. If it has this, it has an adjustment here. But yes, functionally, they're just upgrades to the weapon. And we'll be working with that going forward as our weapon system. It's going to mean, Cody, that you're going to have to make icons for these things, but there shouldn't be very many of them for the demo at all. And I don't know when we'll be throwing those in. It'll probably be later on in case we need weapons for the demo. I don't think it's something that we'll add on now, but it is something that we're going to carry over to the retail release of the game. There's no reason in my mind to do weapons for each class and carry on all of the complexity of that when we can just design a class with the weapon in mind. So that's, I think, good news. And should make silhouetting actually a little bit easier too, Cody. If we give someone a ridiculously outsized weapon, we can incorporate that into their model and have like a gigantic axe hanging on their shoulder. Or
Yeah, I like that idea.
okay, cool. I know that silhouetting is difficult with the opportunity to have like a bajillion different weapons. I've noticed recently, actually, because I went through and watched a lot of anime, I think a month and a half ago, that most of the time when you're introduced to the primary antagonists of an arc, and there are multiple of them, you're shown their silhouettes before you see any of them specifically. It's like a trope in the genre that you're always going to see the silhouettes. But the silhouettes are always very interesting for the antagonists. And wickedly diversified between each of them. And so, if at some point we need to do stuff for our Kickstarter to sell the different races without doing full concept work for them, I think we'll want to foreshadow them with silhouettes. That might mean some silhouette work before Kickstarter, but I'm not certain on that. Just something I was thinking about.
Sorry, could you? I think I must have missed an important part of the silhouette talk.
Sure. Sorry, that was
How was useful in that?
somewhat rambling, but essentially, we don't have the time to concept out all of the classes for the other races. We just don't. We probably won't be able to fit that in for a long time, seeing as concepting is something that generally takes a while. But if we can get, oh, hey, see ya,